I believe trauma may be the greatest mission field of the 21st century, but the most misunderstood issue of our day. I had a story to share, but I couldn't put all the pieces together because of childhood trauma. My life was affected by so many things, from self-destructive behaviors, from cutting my body, eating disorder, negative thoughts that I just could not get free from, and I was so confused. In my teenage years, I was hurting. I didn't know where to turn. I grew up in a home where my father was an alcoholic, a raging alcoholic. He would disappear for long lengths of time, come back, just terrorizing the house, and we were afraid. My mom was addicted to him, always wanting to change him or to fix him. Therefore, our emotional needs weren't met and we were neglected a lot. I thought that this was normal. I thought this is the way things should be. As I got older, we moved to Las Vegas from a small town in Indiana, and my father got more involved in the drugs, and he went to prison for 10 years. My mom found her own way to escape an addiction. This left me home alone at the age 13, trying to raise my little brother who was 11, and then I had my older siblings that were just trying to find their way. I ended up heading into the streets. I was in a neighborhood which was just diversity, high gang rate, and I just learned to become street smart. And I would run the streets, learning how to survive, learning ways to get food, and I eventually got initiated into a Hispanic gang. I ended up 15 years old and pregnant. While my father was in prison for 10 years, my mom was lost in her own addiction, and I'm trying to raise my little brother. As years just went on, things got worse. The cutting my legs, cutting my body, not knowing where to turn. I graduated from a behavior school program, alternative ed. In school, they were putting me in special education classes. When I went to my first job interview at 18 years old with 2 small children, the lady asked me, "Is there something wrong with you? Because on your application, there's a lot of misspelling." I walked out of that interview and knew that there was something wrong with me. And this was just years of torment, pregnant again at 21 years old, looking for love in all the wrong places. Somebody had told me one day at a job that I got at a daycare, "Jesus loves you and he wants to heal your heart." I didn't really understand that language or what she was talking about, and I really didn't want to hear it with all that I was going through. The father of my kids, who I met at the age 13, he was in the gang life. At 21 years old, I found myself in a desperate state. I didn't know then at the time, but my trauma was manifesting. It was getting so overwhelming that I couldn't take it anymore. I went into the closet to take my life. I left my children, who were 6 months old, 3 years old, and 6 years old. I left them in the living room, and I was just going to end my life. I couldn't take it no more. But all of a sudden, that annoying coworker, her voice kept running in my head. "Jesus loves you and he wants to heal your heart." And something in that closet made me flip over and said, "If you're real, I want to know you now." And I can't explain what happened in that moment, but just something came in that closet that I could break patterns, that my life doesn't have to be like my parents. I don't know what this is going to look like, but I picked myself up that day and I went on a mission to heal myself in recovery programs, trauma therapy, anybody that could mentor me. Today, I'm sharing my story to help others know that addiction and trauma is not a life sentence and that you can get over this. Today, I'm sharing my story all over the world to help many people